second half.
When Adelaide did plenty of good things in the first quarter, and if they can feed off of what they did and the tempo that they played in the first quarter, I'm sure we'll see some more momentum swings as Adelaide on the alternating possessions have the first crack of the third quarter. Stephen Way, who was hot in the first half, a little bit short. Those are the guys that are running on the floor for Cairns, as Daniel Johnson gets the good start for the Adelaide 36ers.
Two areas in the first half that both teams needed to pick up on was cutting down the turnovers, but also limiting offensive boards, and there's a couple there early on for Adelaide.
Brad Hill, who was quiet in the first half for Cairns, gets it to Jamar Wilson. Wilson, pull-up jump shot, that's off. In traffic, Crosswhite pulls down the board. Cairns once again have another shot at it on this possession. Wilson, his floater over the top of Mitch Creek. And he's showing his ability to score, Jamar Wilson.
Tough shot there, too, to have such soft touch. With Mitch Creek coming across, one of the most athletic players in the league, coming across the block here, to be able to get that up and over. That's a tough shot.
Yeah, a score like that, if he sees him, you know, if he's not surprised by a quick jump, usually get the score anyway. Johnson comes up short on his 20-foot jump shot from the baseline.
Steve, you can see the intent here. Obviously, Marty Clark's just telling the Adelaide fellas, just run it, run it, run it, run it. But it's just not really working out for them yet.
Crosswhite, a right-hand jump hook. Didn't look like a high percentage shot.
And a little bit off balance there at the end of that one. And Crosswhite always likes to go left, generally. And if you can force him right, then you've got a little bit better chance of stopping him.
You mean like Ricky Grayson lefter? Wilson with, I'm sorry, Warren with the steal.
Terrible pass on the end of that one. They need to at least get a shot up in that situation. And that was a terrible finish.
How often do you see this? Turnover, then that's followed up by a turnover, and then another turnover.
It's a strange psychology. It's almost like we got it for free, so we can be free with it.
And we just see another one.
And there's another turnover. Jamar Wilson throws it to Crosswhite.
A little showtime there on the end of that break. I don't know if it was necessary, but it was a good finish.
I think Brad Hill was going to concede that layup. The pass went whistling by his head. Watch this. Oh, no, it was Mitch Creek.
It was one of those frustrating fouls if you're coaching Adelaide too, because it just made no difference. He's too big and strong for it to have any impact, but you're giving the guy another shot.
If you get a foul on that situation, you want to be ripping his arm away, so he can't even get the shot up, and that's something good defenders know. That's what Aaron Grabo did earlier in the game. That's what you should be doing.
Wow. Brad Hill gets the bad bounce off of the rubber. And he gets the score. Cairns up by 6. It's their biggest lead of the game. Another turnover.
Marcy, Adelaide's doing everything they can right now to throw it away. I mean, they're coming up with creative ways of doing it.
They are, aren't they? There's many different ways to get a turnover, and they're finding most of them at the moment. They're up to 14 turnovers early in this third quarter as we see Marty Clark calling for a timeout.
Rightly so.
Alex Loughton picks up his 8-point. Cairns has scored 6 straight. Timeout on the floor to the 36ers. Find themselves down 47-39.
Kickstart your year with the first month rent-free at Radio Rentals. Get bedroom furniture, fridges, washers, flat panel TVs, our entire range of quality products, all first month rent-free. Hurry, give Radio Rentals a call on 131 181 now.
Concerned about the global economic meltdown? At McDonald's between 12 and 1, our double cheeseburger is just $2. So the only meltdown you'll experience is our cheese.
Well, back here in Adelaide, where the 36ers have run into Cairns Taipans. Well, I would say a buzzsaw, but they are named after a snake. A venomous bite here in the third quarter. Cairns have just come out, just execute, picking up where they left off in the second quarter.
It's a pretty good way to come out from the end of the first quarter on. It's very hard. Second game of the double. It's very easy to lose momentum, get down on yourselves after losing a game you thought you might win in Wollongong. They've come out and executed really well in the second quarter. They're starting to do the same here again and establishing a good lead for themselves.
Brett, just a quick one. You've been in this situation thousands of times, but when momentum goes against you that much like it has your old team just in this last half an hour or so, what is the coach trying to get them to do? Just settle it down, get a good set?
He is. He's trying to get them to settle down, run their offense through, get some good, easy buckets just to get the score ticking over. As we see them get the ball here to Diamond Simpson, who's one of the most efficient scorers in the league.
Aaron Byrne wanted to travel, similar to what Brad Hill down there did on the other end of the floor. Jamar Wilson with a nice pass fake. Gets himself up there. Hill. You can see Adelaide's defensive intensity is picked up. Crosswhite gets it to Loughton. He's found the mark on a couple of occasions. Wilson to Warren.
I think Adelaide are very cautious with Warren. They've been burned by him a couple of times. They're getting out very quickly on his three, making him put it on the floor.
Shot clock stays at 11. Adelaide never got possession of that, even though Diamond Simpson knocks it out of bounds. Plenty of time for Cairns to get a good shot. Warren has Johnson on him. The mismatch as Loughton shoots over the top of Mitch Creek.
Nice hook shot down the lane, wasn't it? He had all the momentum. It was a nice free-flowing hook shot.
Way. Pull-up jump shot on Crosswhite. Loughton hits the floor, so does Creek. Jump ball, alternating possession goes in favor of the Cairns Taipans.
Cairns are doing a better job, Steve, of identifying their mismatches. You know, Morrissey said a minute ago, you got Crosswhite going up against Creek. That's a good shot. They look a little bit more organized in what they want to get offensively. Adelaide looks like they're sort of settling for what comes.
Yeah, and I think that Cairns do a good job of identifying when there's a mismatch.
Especially their structure and the way Adelaide are defending it at the moment. They're able to get a lot of good switches where Adelaide can be exposed with Warren, one of the smaller players on the league, ending up on a Jeff Dowdell or a Ian Crosswhite or a Alex Loughton. They're doing a good job of getting them the ball.
There's something here. 3 fouls now on Warren, so he'll head out of the game. So there's a few things to think about for the coaching staff down that end of the floor.
Run the baseline. Don't run the baseline.
Not a great night so far for Chris Warren. He's only 1 of 4 from the field, 2 points. He probably needs to start looking to get himself involved in the game a little bit more on the offensive end.
Wilson gets it up ahead of Dowdell. Gets it to Warren. Back to Jeff. Finds Crosswhite. He just, crowd wanted to travel.
Sure did.
Real good screen there.
Did he put the ball on the floor?
I don't think so.
I think he did. Took about 3 steps.
Wow.
Good second and third effort, Diamond Simpson.
Did a good job of keeping the ball alive there. Tapped it a couple of times, just enough for one of the 36ers members to be able to come and scoop up the board.
Hill with the spin.
I'd like to see this one again, Steve, if we get a chance. I'm never a fan of the fact that the guy falls over and the immediate call. We see it here. Well, I mean, he certainly accentuated the fall.
He did make a little bit of contact, but that was close to a flop. But
Yeah.
sometimes you have to do that to get the call. Not many players like to do it. but if you get rewarded, then
yeah. Well, simple as that. If he doesn't fall, he doesn't get that call.
That's right. Yeah. That's what I mean. And you do the math, as you often do on the numbers, weight-wise and strength-wise, and you look at it and you say, he's not moving Simpson like that.
But the one thing is, they know Brad Hill's not going to shoot, so...
Yeah. Well, it was smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Daly. Pull-up jump shot. Good.
Nice move there from Tom Daly. Just a little cross over the top. Got himself out a metre free and was able to hit that nice little 12-foot pull-up.
Jamar Wilson. Out of that post-up. The ball will stay here. Those are the field goal percentage. Cairns Taipans shooting at just over 50%. Adelaide at 41.9. Warren takes a seat. Be wary of him in the fourth. That's normally where he comes alive. He hasn't done a whole lot just yet. Got himself a breakaway dunk. Thought that might get him going.
I'd love to see Adelaide here try and get Daniel Johnson involved a little bit in this quarter. He's been very quiet. He's been one of their biggest offensive threats all year. Just hasn't seen much of the ball tonight.
Dowdle comes up short. Brad Hill swatted by Diamond Simpson.
Well, there was a couple of outstanding efforts there. First of all, a great offensive board by Brad Hill. Read it well, grabbed it, and I thought, this is looking real good. And Simpson thought, this is looking like I'm going to just take it out of the building. Here we see the replay. Bang. Quick, decisive.
Kerry Williams into the game for Cairns. His pull-up jump shot short. Cross-wide is out and jumped by Diamond Simpson.
Kerry Williams, another guy that's been given a good opportunity this year for more court time, with some of the guys getting picked up by the Melbourne Tigers and other circumstances. He's been getting a lot more minutes, and it's a good opportunity for him to cement his position and possibly, if he plays well, I guess cement a spot in that starting five.
Well, he creates some spark with his speed, no doubt about that. Daly turned the corner again. Finds Johnson. He puts it on the floor for the attempted jam. Crowd going berserk on that no call. Wilson. And he looked like he took a few steps. As he started to gather, Stephen Way is on the floor, and he is grimacing.
He looks in trouble there. I saw a bit of a leg shake. He's rolling over now. He's hit the ground hard.
Well, we just saw that aggressive take by Daniel Johnson at the other end, and then both ends of the floor. There's a lot going on right now, Steve. The intensity's picked right up. A lot of stuff going on when a player takes off to the basket. I was a little surprised, Brett, that they didn't call a foul when Johnson was driving. Even just based on how it looked, it may not have been a lot of contact, but when you're up in the air like that. Exactly.
I just overheard Marty Clark questioning the referee, and the referee has told him that he'd lost the ball before he had got the contact. So that's why they didn't call it, but probably unlucky there for Daniel Johnson.
That's what you want Daniel Johnson to do. You want him to go strong to the basket, make sure there's contact, and get himself to the foul line under those circumstances. He wasn't able to, but he did the right thing.
I think that's what you always want out of your big guys, to, whenever they get it, just to go as strong as they can. If they can put a dunk on the end of it, that's great, but just go hard. They'll either get the score or a foul, as we see Loughton hit a nice 15-footer on the baseline. He's
so important to him too, Marty, when he gets going. You know, he's the emotional leader. Loughton, you can see the intensity there. Oh.
That was a bare hug.
Marty Clark, I'm sure he wants unsportsmanlike, because he just grabbed him as he was going by. And Jeff Dowdle, I'm not quite sure what he's questioning on that call.
Well, we'll see it here as Way takes the three, and then Dowdle just completely holds Simpson away from the play. No play on the ball. It could quite possibly have been.
Simpson's been attacking the offensive boards hard. That is one way of stopping him, of course, the old bear hug defense.
Loughton Wilson. Loughton's got it on the block. He's been hot. Alex Loughton has been a factor here tonight, a huge factor, as Loughton scores his 14th point on 7 of 11 from the field. Way. Just a little too strong, a little too big for Aaron Grabo.
He had that size advantage there and just bullocked his way through to get close to the bucket. Something that he does well, and also Diamond Simpson, just if they've got that height advantage, they do a real good job of bullocking their way through to get through for a nice, easy one.
Stevie Way's deceptively long. I mean, he's right up there. Very long arms and, you know, can really cause some trouble down there, but Brady probably needs to be a little more aggressive yet than he has shown most of this year.
Yeah, I think so. He's got all the tools we said earlier in the broadcast that he has everything going for him, and when he gets the ball, if it's in the flow of the game, he should be looking to score whenever he gets it.
He gets 1 and 2. As Everard Bartlett comes in for Mitch Creek. Chris Warren comes in for Tom Daly. Aaron Grabo goes out for Cairns.
Here we go.
And he's replaced by Andrew Warren.
I'd be riding Alex Loughton's back right now, the way he's shooting that ball, especially that short corner jump shot. Looks like it's unstoppable.
We'll see if Cairns can execute and get it to the hot player here. They tried.
There's a couple of quick guys there guarding one another, Warren and Williams. Way. Oh. His fall-away jump shot is good. That's what we're talking about. Stephen Way creating something out of nothing. And draws Adelaide to within 7.
Both ex-Wildcat players going head-to-head with each other.
Warren with a good look outside the three-point line. Again, it's short.
If Warren starts chipping in here, Adelaide are in all sorts of trouble.
That was dangerous. They really dodged a bullet on that one.
They had been doing a good job of closing out on him until that play, and they did get away with one.
That's one guy you want to keep quiet. Johnson. And Johnson will go to the foul line. Jeff Dowdle doing what he does. What was Aaron Grabo's nickname?
Aaron Grab Hold, we used to call him, because he was very good at it and didn't often get called for it. So that's what the good defenders do. They play good, solid D and tend to get away with a little bit more than some of us that never fouled. I think I never fouled because I wasn't really interested in the defensive end.
Weren't close enough?
Good position defense, I used to call it.
Well, something common in the commentary team of Andrew Gaze. Now you guys got after it. People used to give you guys a hard time, but you had to have a little bit of energy on the offensive end.
We were good at calling help. That's our best word in defense, help.
Williams skips it to Wilson. Dowdle finds Loughton. His fall away was maybe he gave him a little bit of an extra.
There's a little nudge there.
Fall away.
Good defense there by Jeff Dowdell. He picked it there, got his feet, good footwork, got across, and got nailed right between the 1 and the 0 in his singlet.
Smart play by Dowdell.
He did do a good job of sliding his feet on that one. And maybe, Brett, you're right, maybe just guessed the right way.
He is one of the better defenders, I guess, a four-man in the league. He has good footwork, and he can certainly match up on a lot of the four-men very well.
Wilson. Warren back to Wilson. Wilson with a burst of speed. Tough shot over the top of Johnson. He's got to get it up in the air. Creates a little space for himself. Wow. You knew he was going to knock that down, didn't you? He looked up at the clock. He knew exactly how much time was left on the shot clock.
It's amazing how often those ones really make you pay. Just giving up that offensive board to the smallest guy on the floor.
It does. He took that little steadying dribble. Everyone in the crowd could see he was going to do it. I think even the defense knew, but